I'm Colleen Buens. My daughter Kara is 16 and she's a member of Campus Life, and she became involved in Campus Life when she met Elaine at high school, and her and Elaine became friends, and then Elaine invited her to Campus Life. I had my reservations about Campus Life. You know, I remember like when Elaine first suggested it, you know, I went on Google and I looked it up and I was a little suspicious about it. She's my baby. You know, I wanted to make sure that you raise your kids up and you give them, and, you know, and I'm not saying that my daughter doesn't have a good moral character or a steadfast, you know, belief in herself, but I think at this age it's a lot easier to be led astray by your peers. So you have to be a little more careful as a parent about where your kids are going, you know, and who they're hanging with. So, but it plays with flying colors. You know, it was a Christian-based organization, so I knew that the general tenets of what I believed would be reinforced. And then it passed the ultimate test. When I drove the girls on the first night and they disappeared into the crowd, and I just wanted to check the time that they would be done, just to make sure that, you know, they had told me the right time and everything was gonna be. And I walked in and the kids parted like the Red Sea. And I thought that, you know, to me, that was a great sign, because that showed respect, was, you know, right off the bat. And I walked in and there was, you know, enough adults for this big crowd of kids. It's a good outlet with, you know, with a good influence. The second thing I think it is, you know, they do the Strive program where they're, you know, they're helpful to the community. And I think it makes them look at people within their community a lot differently. It's just not the crabby old lady down the block, or, you know, somebody who's slow in front of them in a store. All of a sudden it's the woman who needs help down the block, you know, where they can take the trash barrels in. She goes to Campus Life, and there's many more kids from school, so they have things in common, which means they have similar problems in common too. And they can talk about those and resolve them, or get an idea how to resolve them. Or if, you know, or if they're on page with the rest of their peers. You know, I've noticed that she's a lot more independent of us since Campus Life. You know, we don't get that bounce off as much, and sometimes I resent it. I'm not going to pretend like I don't. You know, but I know she'll talk to Kathy about something, or, you know, and it's kind of like, you know, stepping on my role here. But on the other hand, you want your children to be independent. You want them to think for themselves and make judgments for themselves. You know, I thought it was great that even, you know, as she's getting older, she still wants to go to a Christian-based group meeting at least once a week. You know, with the girls group, that's the other thing I really like about Campus Life, is the girls group. The girls are swayed a lot more than I was growing up, you know, by a lot of things. So the girls group kind of reinforces that bond that, you know, they really don't need to have a boyfriend at this age. They really don't need to, you know, they have each other. And that's good for a girl. You know, high school, you know, this is a whole new ball game. And to be real honest with you, as a parent, I'm not always prepared to handle it, because it is so foreign to me, being brought up in a different culture where, you know, and it's real easy for me to say, you know, what's your value on yourself? But if I'm the only one who's saying that, at least I know that, like with the girls group, that's reinforced. You know, back to, they, you know, they're asking questions about, you know, their own validity as women and how this will affect their lives later. And they're making good choices because of those questions. And if that group wasn't there, you know, maybe they would, you know, just get caught up in the tidal wave. I send out a child every day to high school that I know is not going to be swayed easily, is not going to be, you know, and if she's uncomfortable asking me something, you know, she can call one of the leaders from Campus Life. And you know, I'm confident that she's going to get, you know, good guidance. And I, as a parent, I think that's, you know, a phenomenal benefit.